Good morning, students. Now, this class will be based on some few operating system related functions which already I have discussed in my last class. This class we will be continuing with some few more particular things like history of Windows. Whenever we are talking about operating system, we at first go for Windows because we are all using Windows in our own home, where we see that Windows are the most effective and essential operating systems which are available in our systems, basically in our computers. We all know that in the laptops, in the desktops, wherever we are always sitting in front of the computer, we see that Windows are basically loaded, as Windows are much more popular operating system than any other operating system. So let's begin with some few part of the Windows which is very common and essential. That is, the first one is history of Windows, which I think students, it will be very interesting for you to learn about the history of Windows, that from which operating system Microsoft first started and till end which operating system is right now going on. So I think history of Windows is also help you to know about that in which year and on what factor does all these particular operating systems are invented and implemented by the company Microsoft. So to keep pace with the latest technology, Microsoft launches different versions of Windows OS from time to time to include additional and upgraded features. So whenever we see that, whenever we are coming, like few years back, we were all familiar with Windows 8. Then we have seen that Windows 10 came. Previously, there were Windows 7. In the year 2007, we were all eagerly waiting for the launch of the Windows operating system 7. Then slowly 7 little bit got backdated, and therefore Windows 8 came into the market. Now, Windows 8 was also very good operating system in those time, because Windows 8 first launched as a mobile operating system in place of Android, but it didn't go so well, and after that Windows again come back to the computers, and they have launched a new operating system called Windows 10. So I'll talk about all these operating systems afterward. Before that, we must know that which are the first operating system came into the world. So first one is the icon that you are seeing right now is Windows 1.0. This operating system came in the year 1985, and it was actually launched in that year, and it was the first Microsoft operating system which was becoming too much popular in those days, because people started learning computers easily as Microsoft was implemented their operating system into the computer. Then after that, Windows 2.0 came, which is little bit advanced than Microsoft 1.0. This particular 2.0 was launched in the year 1987, and this Windows, where this operating system, Microsoft Windows 2.0, was much more popular than Windows 1.0 in that particular time, because it makes the work more simpler and easier as it upgraded its version of Windows. Then after that, another came, that is Windows 3.0, which was launched in the year 1990, and people started enhancing computers, and people have already started how and learned how these Windows are working, and people were slowly becoming computer savvies in the year 1990. Then after 1990, another new version launched in the year 1993, that is called Windows 95. This in the year Windows 95, 1995. This Windows was launched, and in this year only, people have started learning about Windows with GUI features. Do you know the meaning of GUI? GUI basically means the graphics and all other such like mouse icons and whatever we see in our computers in nowadays were first launched in the year 1995, where people learned what a mouse is, because before 95 there were no mouse launched and there were no concept of mouse, only there were keyboard with the computers. Then after that, after 95, Windows 98 came in the year 1998, and it was the biggest uh, popular Windows in those days, because 98 was the first operating system which has learned people to reach computers in each and every home, and people started exploring files, folders, and all with this operating system. And in this year, people have also learned what a GUI is, and also many people have came to know that what a computer is only because of Windows operating system and Windows 98 definitely. Then a new version came, that is Windows 2000. This 2000 was also launched in the year 2000, so it was named as Windows 2000, and this operating system was much more popular also. But I would refer that in the year 2000 many people were using Windows 98 because it is much more friendlier and easier than Windows 2000. But 2000 Professional came into the market, and it was first launched for the offices and executive areas, where people started using computers in the environmental, in the world of working environment. Then after 2000, another version came, that is Windows ME Millennium. Windows Millennium was also launched in the year 2000, but as Windows 2000 was also popular, and in the same year two Windows was launched. Therefore, Me was not so much popular than Windows 2000, but it was little bit of like Me was little bit ultra modern. Few icons and folders were looked in different way, but still people loved 98 more than Me and 2000. After that, the most important operating system came, that is Windows XP and then 7, Windows 7. XP and 7, XP came in the year 2001, and this OS was has created a record of the most popular operating system in the world, because this XP was the only operating system at that time when each and every people in the world were using, and there were no other operating system found which can compete Microsoft in those days. Then after 2001 there was a long gap. Then in the year 2009 Windows 7 came, and Windows 7 was, you know, the the one of the best operating system after XP, but still people loved XP too much. So as selling of Windows 7 was getting little lesser, because most of the people were using XP, because many people were having a little bit older computers. Therefore, XP was popular. Therefore, Windows started launching Windows 7, and XP was stopped selling, and Windows 7 was the base Windows found nowadays also. Then after that, we know that Windows 8 came, which was a lot popular, because first time Windows came for introducing these you know mm, Microsoft Windows in for the mobiles, and they have started launching mobile phones of Nokia combined with Windows 8, which we long days back we have heard about that phone, like Nokia Lumia, which was actually controlled by the Windows 8 only. Then after that, Windows 10 came, which in the year 2015, and Windows 8 was launched in the year 2012. So 2015 Windows 10 came, which was still now Windows 10 is going on, like Windows 10.1, 10.2, in that way. Little bit of different in versions are available, but people started learning about Windows 10 from last 5 years, and it is going well now. So Windows 10 is right now the current operating system that we are working with. Now let us talk about something about the Windows 10, and also we will learn about the desktops, and our desktop is actually looks like whenever we are working with this. Like Windows 10 is an operating system that Microsoft has launched for use of personal computers and tablets. It was launched in the year 2015. Microsoft has introduced several new features in Windows 10. Now, the first screen that appears on the monitor after the Windows OS is loaded is called the desktop. So, whatever thing that we are getting is like this. It is a screen of desktop where we can see multiple number of small icons are available and the background picture like something is there which is called the wallpaper. Now, just a clock on the top of your study table, similarly frequently used things are all placed on the window in the computer's desktop. So desktop is a place where we sometimes when we keep something in our study table where we see that there is a clock, there is a calendar, and there are some such few things that are available. Those are known as you know those kind of essential products we can also place in our desktop, and whenever we put on our computers in the early morning it will show you the today's date, time, and if you want to remind yourself, then you can also put something as a sticky note over there and you can remind yourself that today I have to do this and that. So in this way you can configure your desktop so that it can help you to remind many such things, and you can also save your work over there, and it is actually the first loaded screen when you start your computer. So Microsoft Windows always gives you a first home screen which is known as Windows desktop. Okay, so this screen that you are seeing in front of is the is actually the desktop which configures with lot of things like the icons, the taskbar, the start menu, the search bar, notification icon, date and time, and many such. So, and the most importantly, the wallpapers that we see, the pictures behind the icons that we are basically seeing is also a very essential part of our desktop. So, today up to this, in the next class, we will also start learning about the different parts of a desktop, and we will also come to know about some more such things of the Microsoft Windows. Thank you and have a nice day.